I can imagine the jaws of an adult hyena locked on the hand of a man. I imagine the pain his wife felt when she heard him scream. I imagine what was going on in her mind as she went out to help him. What was the man's father doing when he heard the scream? What was the reaction of the 75-year-old man? What was his son thinking? The son was only 10. His parents were shouting for help. What were the villagers feeling when they were awakened on that fateful day? When they were roused from sleep? This was not a movie. This was real. It was an attack by a vicious pack of hyenas believed to number about 6. Robert never expected such a horrific incident when he went to sleep on that fateful day. In a case that has left the community in deep shock and traumatized, a Zaka family was mauled by a suspected pack of 6 hyenas. The hyenas are said to have been on the prowl, marauding in that area for quite some time. It was a scary moment, and the pain must have been excruciating. Robert never expected that his night would turn into horror. For him, it was a routine check on his goats. His livestock were under attack. Then he would come back to bed. It was around 10 p.m. Nothing would happen to him, he thought. Nothing. It was another normal day for him, a normal night for him and his family. But fate had other ideas. The ideas were bad. His peaceful world was about to turn into untold horror. He was about to be attacked by the menacing hyenas. On 18 July 2022, around 10:30 hours at night, the Maroi family was attacked and mauled by a pack of hyenas in Mapfumo village, Chief Bota in Zaka communal lands, Masvingo province. This happened as they attempted to scare away the hyenas which were attacking their livestock, goats to be specific. Robert Maroi heard that there was commotion at the kraals. He went out to check what was happening. However, the hyenas attacked him, pinned him down. His wife, Muchanyara Munojka, rushed to the scene to see what was happening. She was also badly mauled on both hands. She lost palms, which were eventually amputated. Robert's father, Rwatiwenga, heard that his son was asking for help. He went out with a log to try and help his son, but all was in vain. He was also attacked. The family was eventually rescued by villagers, it is alleged. They were able to scare away the hyenas. Some versions say that the son, Robert's son, 10-year-old boy, threw a metal sheet and it scared away the carnivorous animals. The 3 people who were badly injured were whisked to Musiso Hospital in Zaka. Robert and his wife were the worst affected. They were eventually transferred to Masvingo Provincial Hospital. They were in serious condition. Although they were critical, the members of the family survived. Challenge was a huge one. They couldn't feed themselves. Their hands had been the target. Their injuries were gruesome. Robert's face was in a terrible state. It was indeed a tragedy. His wife had both palms amputated. It was an arduous task to feed, an arduous task to bath. Gogoma Moyo was attacked by elephants in Cholocho. Some boys were attacked while they were herding cattle or going to school because they live close to a game park. There have been cases of elephants wreaking havoc in Gokwe. There have been cases of other areas like in the Midlands where Tendai Maseka in Chirimanzu was attacked. An 87-year-old man was dragged from his hut 300 meters and killed by a pack of hyenas. His body was discovered far away from the hut, but half of it was missing, the lower half. Recently, a man was attacked in the bush by a vicious leopard while he was relieving himself. He fought the animal and survived. Animals and human beings are in conflict, and the conflict seems to be worsening. The pack of hyenas which attacked the Maroi family had been responsible for a series of attacks in the area. The pack is believed to number about 6. They are a real danger to the community. The people's fear is palpable, and rightly so. When Gogoma Moyo was attacked by an elephant in Cholocho, people were shocked. Some people were killed while herding cattle, others on their way to school. However, some boys were not as fortunate as Gogoma Moyo. Some were trampled to death while herding cattle, and others while on their way to school. That is how serious the conflict between animals and people is. For some time now, public opinion has been that these impacts tends to protect animals more than human beings. Is that true? Is this the case? Failing to track and kill animals has been a major complaint by communities living close to where animals prowl. This is not the only incident. This incident involving the Maroi family was the second incident in a month. In another incident, a 9-year-old boy was attacked while attending a prayer session at night. He was also severely injured. Could it be the same pack? Could it have been avoided? This has left the people in Zaka traumatized, terrified. Parks officials remain confident that they will solve the problem. They think that the people will be safe. The people are not convinced. The people are annoyed. Their tongues are wagging. Could it be witchcraft? Someone had the audacity to say. There are claims that in other areas like Urungwe, which is infested with hyenas, no attacks have been reported. How can this be? How can this be explained? It seems to buttress their points. That is what a belief can do to a people. The attacks, however, are real. The injuries are real. Witchcraft or no witchcraft, this is reality. A family was attacked and their lives changed forever. The increasing human-wildlife conflict is a symptom of natural resources which are becoming less and less by the day. Is there need to help? Is there need to assist this family? The answer is yes. Their lives have been changed and changed forever. They can no longer do the chores that they used to do. Their agricultural activities have come to a standstill. In order to truly understand why this could have taken place, we need to focus on hyenas themselves. What kind of animals are they? They are carnivorous and they have a voracious appetite. They tackle different kinds of prey, wild animals and domestic animals alike. When push comes to shove, like in this case, they resort to humans. These are the kind of animals which can eat an animal alive. There have been cases of hyenas eating a buck while it is still alive. This is what they can do. They are a real danger to human beings. Hyenas are also known to possess some of the strongest jaws in the animal kingdom, and the damage they cause is extensive when we talk about human beings. The people who were involved are nursing gruesome injuries and clearing deep wounds. One of the biggest wounds that they have is the trauma that they experienced when they were attacked. They didn't know whether they were going to survive or they were going to die. It was a truly terrifying moment for all three. This country is an agro-based economy. Now, as society comes to terms with this gruesome attack, we realize that the family is now going to be dependent on others for life. They can't do any farming anymore. Disability is painful. They are now incapacitated. Their scars are nasty. Their lives traumatized. In some cases, they will have to rely on charity. The images of these people are quite frightening. There are people who think that the monopoly of Zimpax is a problem. Could private individuals have allowed such incidents to happen? Food for thought. All stray animals in the wild which pose a danger to human beings should be killed, one man said. At times it takes forever to track a lion, a hippopotamus, a hyena or an elephant, putting more lives at risk in the conflict zones. What can campfire do? Is it more visible than it should? What is the impact of CITES on people's lives? Are they really for the protection of fauna and flora? What about the human beings? Are the bans and the regulations meant to benefit communities? If so, in what way? So many questions, but very few answers. The attacks have come and gone, but life goes on. What can be done to remedy the situation? What remedies can we put in place as human beings or as communities to safeguard against such attacks in the future, to reduce such attacks in the future? Many people have come up with measures they think can be put in place. Some of the measures include the following. Number one, people have to be vigilant in potential danger areas. People should avoid moving at night. People should keep their doors and windows closed. People should move in groups until the animals are tracked and captured or killed. These are some of the solutions that people share in communities. The first option is, if an animal kills a person, it has to be put down. In other words, it has to be eliminated. Does Zimpax have adequate resources? Is there overpopulation of animals in certain areas? Can the animals be relocated? Do we have the necessary resources for that to happen? Is it easy to capture them? There is a catch-22 situation. The figures of up to 60 victims of human-wildlife conflict per year is frightening. Something must be done. When Robert woke up, he just wanted to protect his goats. When the wife followed her husband, she just wanted to protect her husband. When Robert's father followed him to the crow, he just wanted to help his son. Their lives have been turned upside down. The 75-year-old man is traumatized. The 10-year-old boy is traumatized. The village is traumatized. Life will never be the same again in the village. We salute the 10-year-old boy for his bravery. We salute the 75-year-old man for his bravery. We salute the wife for standing with her husband, risking her own life to save the man she loved. Communities should come together. This is a potential danger, especially as the areas occupied by animals continue to become smaller and smaller, and they compete for resources such as water. The Zimbabwe National Parks and Wildlife Management Authority shot 2 of the hyenas who are believed to have developed this habit of eating human beings. They put them down. Hyenas are also said to be wreaking havoc in Mutasa, in Manicaland, and villagers are living in fear. The rangers are stretched to the limit as there are more areas that they have to cover in Manicaland and other areas in country. The menace of hyenas and other wild animals coming into contact with human beings frightening. The villagers are engulfed in fear. They are also attacking and killing their livestock. Their livelihoods are threatened. The formulation of the Human Wildlife Conflict Relief Fund is a positive step and is meant to cater for all the victims of attacks. The cases are on the rise, and it's time for people to put heads together and look for the limited resources, look for more resources to help those who are in the conflict areas. This is everyone's problem. Is there any hope for the future? Hope there always is. Is there any interest in solving the problem? That could be the question. But with hope in place, everything else can follow. This problem of wild animals coming into contact with human beings is on the increase. It's up to the authorities, it's up to communities to come up with plans. And it is our hope that those who are injured, they have received help from government. We have received help from other well-wishers, will continue to receive help, and that their lives will not be dampened forever. The fight to reduce the human-wildlife conflict is everyone's responsibility. As the menace continues to raise its ugly head, we are duty-bound to be our brother's keepers. The problem is real, and the solution should also be real. As communities, as people, we should strive to come up with real solutions. If not, lives will continue to be lost, and people will continue to be maimed. Every experience, they say, is an arc on which to build. As we experience these incidents, as they happen in our communities, to our families, to those who are close to us, let's work towards finding solutions. Let's put our heads together, institutions, individuals, communities, and work towards making our lives safer and making our children safer as well. It is our responsibility, it is our mandate, and we can do it.